Hi, everyone. Welcome to Climb Your Everest, a nonprofit organization leadership workshop series. So, this is a session number 25, and we've had 24 sessions talking about different topics, different leadership skills from financial literacy to communication skills to self confidence. And today, we have Dr. Zara. She's joining us from Queensland University, Australia, to talk about critical thinking. Thank you, Dr. Zara, for being here.
Thank you so much for introducing me. Hello, everyone. And I'm really happy to join you today to talk about the critical thinking. And one of the main things about the critical thinking before I start, it's mostly when we talk about the critical thinking, all the focus is that is useful for a job, that is useful for when I want to do promotion, when I'm a leader, for a manager. There is no doubt on it. But the critical thinking is the essential mode of thinking for everyone, for the daily life. So it's better we learn how is the critical thinking. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. So what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to talk about the critical thinking. What is the critical thinking exactly? Because we hear about the critical thinking a lot. Why it's important? Why you need to learn how do you think critically? The method or the steps you can follow to increase this skill as well. And then at the end, I'm gonna give you a different types of thinking. You can think which one is my type and which category I'm belong. When you know which category you are belong, it's much easier to step in the next level category. So what is exactly critical thinking? Critical thinking is the way of thinking which is we try to think about whatever happens around us, and it's very useful for problem solving and when we want to analyze the issues or problem or finding the solution for that. But it's not only this. Critical thinking, it's about questioning everything, and it's about the method you understand, and you accept that not whatever you see or hear or people are doing, it's completely, you have to accept that. You need to think, okay, they are doing this one, or I heard about this news, is that correct? Is that why people behavior like that? It's about more questioning. When I talk about the critical thinking in my classes at the university, the first thing a student comes to a student's minds, it's a negative. They give a negative weight to the critical thinking. They think when we say critical thinking, it means criticize the everything, which is not correct. Critical thinking is a positive thing, and it helps us to see action, to see the issue, to see a problem from different perspective, from different angles. So it helps us to analyze that issue, problem, or actions. So why critical thinking? Firstly, it helps us to analyze the information, to analyze the problem, to break down the problem and see how we can see the problem. Then it helps us to think logically. In the critical thinking, we try to collect all the information from the different sources and put it together. That's why when we do that, it helps us rather than thinking emotionally, deciding emotionally or something. We think logically, by bring all the evidence together, and then we can make a decision that we call it informed decision. That it means we know about this topic truly, completely. We know what is happening in this issue, problems or actions from different perspective. We have all the evidence, we have all the data about it, and now we made a decision. Now we take the action. So uh, when you start thinking critically and improve the skills, your skills here, you get more independent in your decision making, in your learning. And when some issues and problems rise, you don't get frustrated. Oh my God, that is the issue. Or that's a big problem. What should I do? So when you learn the critical thinking, you sit down and say, okay, that's the issue. Let's break down the issue. Let's see what is the exact issue is and how can I improve it, rather than being stressed, rather than being frustrated. So it's really important. I want to ask you, I want you to think about it. If you hear a news from TV, or read the news from the newspaper, any news, what is your action? Are you the person accepting all of that and say, okay, they say that, and yes, I agree? Or you are the person start more reading. Yeah, why they say like that? Let's see what is the other website say. Let's see what is the other media say. Let's see what people talking about. If you are the person that accept and say, oh yeah, that is happening now, that is a problem, exactly, it means you haven't start being or thinking critically. But if you are the person say, oh yeah, they say that, without questioning, without not questioning, without accepting or rejecting the news, you start thinking more deeply. You start talking to people. You are going to the website. You are reading the blogs. You are reading the social media, and try to figure out even that news, which is, it might be related to the community, not exactly related to you, but you are curious to see what's happening. That is, it means you are independent, getting independent. You are starting thinking critically, and that is really good. It's help you in your daily life. We make a decision, lots of decisions from morning till night. What we eat, what we do. Some of them are really small, some of them are really big. Some of them are really related to our family. Okay, where if which bank I need to go to get a loan, or what I need to do, which school is good for my daughter or son goes, or some of them related to your job. So you are become a really aware of everything. You are become independent, and you develop the skills of thinking and collecting the data. And it's lovely, it's really useful for your job. It doesn't matter which job you are doing, it doesn't matter you are on the lower level or top levels. In each level you need to make decisions, and people are in your job will notice really soon that you are a critical thinker. You can solve the problems. The people I know that some we talk about that person, for example, the X one, or that person. It's really good about to talk about the issues. It gives us different perspective. Did you have anyone like that in your life, or in your job, everyone going talk to them, what they are doing, they're helping people to understand the issue, they're helping people to analyze the issue and reach the decision, the best decision. So critical thinking, you don't born with critical thinking. Critical thinking, it's an art, it's a skill which you have to learn it if you want, and if you are aware of the thinking. Because honestly, it's kind of difficult when I say something, I say, maybe I think my thinking is not good. Because in critical thinking, the first step is my thinking has a weakness. Okay, maybe my decision is not good. So sometimes it's hard for people to say, okay, I'm wrong, or maybe it's difficult for them, someone tell them it's wrong. So it's a big step. But when you start critical thinking and going to this step, you love to get a feedback from people and say how I can improve in critical thinking. But the first step is difficult because you need to question your thinking and decision as well. So as I say, it's very useful in your daily life and in your job. So before I go to steps of completely talk about the steps of the critical thinking, I want to just briefly say the steps of the critical thinking. The first thing, as I say, is ask questions. If you heard the news, or sometimes if, as it's happened a lot. As a woman, some of the countries or cultures are believe that a woman needs men's permission to do something. It's not a law, it's a belief. So the first thing is, without I accepting or rejecting, say why they are believe like that, why should I believe like this one, and then I start to see what's happening. Then we need to collect the data, collect the information about everywhere. And when I collect the informations from variety of sources, we don't go on one sources, we go talk to people. We are collecting from the books, or reading the news, reading the in this case policy of the countries, everything. And when we collect all the data about this, we start to analyze and evaluate the information. Where I did get the information, it was a really, could I, my source was reliable or no? Or I just got it from, I asked my grandma why I needed permission from my dad, and my grandma said, you have to do that. Does she has all of the information we need, or we go to some other sources which they are not reliable? Then the quality of the evidence, it has a good quality. And then the logic of reasoning, what is the logic behind of that? Sometimes most of the beliefs and most of the values the countries have, they have a really good logic behind it, that it's suitable for that environment, it's suitable for that country community. So start doing that, and then we develop logic solutions. I'm going through that in the next couple of slides, how we can develop logical solutions. And even when we have a solution, we don't develop only one solution, we develop a different solution, and then we start analyzing which solution is work or didn't work. By looking at the situation, by looking at our position, by looking at the the issue. If you notice in the different families, even the same issue rise in the different families, they end up with a different solution. Why? Because it's more suitable for their family. And then, so then you need to see which solution it's worked for the issue, for the situation, for the people are engaging in that issue. And then when we decided about the issue, we try get seek feedback. When I say feedback is, we don't get feedback from everyone. We get feedback from the trustworthy people, the people have knowledge about it, because we don't want to lost in the solutions. So start getting feedback and see what they think. So let's go to the critical thinking skills and the 5 steps or 5 levels you need to do to reach the critical thinking. So this is kind of same as I told you, but this is more clear steps and layer that you can see. For example, here, the first step for the critical thinking is we need to observe the issue. The ability, what's the observation? It's the ability to notice and predict opportunity, problem, and solution. What does it mean when we say observation? It means slowing down and look at the information we have. Look at the issue we have. Look at the problems we think we need to do that. Rather than making decision really fast and quick, we need to slow down and try to look from out of box and see what's happening for this issue. And another point is you need to look at issue from different perspective. For example, in your classroom, you are a teacher. In your classroom, 2 students start fighting together. So that's the issue, which disturb all the students around the class, which disturb your teaching and everything. And that is, they broke the rules in the class. Instead of really fast and quick tell, okay, leave my class, go outside the class, you can make some decision, postpone the decision, and sit back and observe. Okay, what's happened? What was the issue? Talk to each student to see why they fight together. Try to look at the issue, the fighting from your view. From your view, they disturb your class. First, they break the rules. Second, then the other thing is they if you don't do anything about it, it might happen the next year, with the other student. Every session you have someone fight and say, okay, the teacher doesn't that much care. From your view, from your perspective, you need to look at the issue from the other students' perspective as well. They are sitting in the class, they are doing their homework, and the fight happens. So what's happened for them? That is another perspective. The other one, you need to look at the issue from both of the students fight together from different perspective. What's happened for them? What happened that they reached that point they can fight together? What is behind of that? So, and then it means you are processing all the information you have, and you are looking at the situation from different perspectives. Even you might have some rules at the school, you need to look from the school's perspective as well. So it needs lots of training for paying attention and slowing down. All of us learn to decide really fast and look at the issue from our perspective. There's a fight in my class, they break the rule and everything. Only from my perspective, but what's happened from different perspective, if I really want you to solve the issue rather than to hide the issue. So it needs a training to do that. It's lots of practices you can do, like writing down every things. Then you need to be active listener if you want to be critical thinker. You can invite two of these students and listen. Listening is different from active listening. Active listener sit back and listen completely without bias, without thinking he's wrong, he's wrong, he's wrong, without disturbing the talking of the other person. And sometimes ask a question. Oh, yeah, what happened before? Okay, without having a bias, without thinking, okay, that is his fault. Without thinking that you need to be active listener if you want to observe the issue really properly. Then after that, you have this information, you can gather a lots of other information. The issue I raise is from the classroom. So, but you can talk with the other students as well, see what's happened before that. Anyone notice any behavior from them? And you need to try to gather all the information available for any situation or any problem. And when you gather information, as I say, you need to be unbiased research. Don't think about, okay, I think this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, because if you think like that, you collect all the information that you confirm the situation is wrong or right. So you need to be unbiased, do the research, be a really good listener, ask a question, do all the information, gather all the information you are possibly can. One of the main things that I saw that is in the slide was, if you want to improve your analytical skill, you need it's a good idea to get taking on new experiences. I'm in the tourism department, so always I went to the tourism conferences. One of my mentor told me, it's good you go to the tourism conferences, but if you want to have a better skill and you want to see everything from out of box, it's not about the idea go to the sociology or go to the economic conferences. New things, even the new experiences, because it helps you coming out of the box, out of whatever you know, and say, oh, people are thinking differently in this, in this field. For example, I told you about my field of education. Oh, people thinking about differently, because when you are doing one thing, you are teaching, okay? Everyone doing after sometimes you say, oh, everyone doing the same things, looking from to the problem from same perspective, doing the analytics same. You need to go and to do something different, something's new, or going to the other field, say what they are doing. For example, if you are teaching in high school, it's not bad idea to see how the other coaches doing. Coaches coaching, it's completely different from teaching in the classroom, but it helps you to look at out of the box and see what's happening. Then when you have all information data, it's now it's a time to put all the data in front of yourselves and try to connect the data together, categorize them, put it together, which is all the data. Try to find the clue between the data, between the information, and then if you categorize the information, relevant information, you have some of the relevant information and data. If you do that, then by looking at all of this data and categorize them, you are able to do making educated guesses rather than quickly say what's happening, because you can see the process, you can see all the information, so you can say, okay, that is my educated guess what's happening between these two students, or what's wrong with them if they fight really badly in my class. So in this we have so many different skills that you can use to categorize information. Mind map is one of them. You start to you write a issue in the middle, and then you draw the different lines and write a relevant information together. So you can see in minding map, if you just Google it, it's give you a very good examples about mind mapping. So that is one of the example. I'm still doing mind mapping, and sometimes I have so many things and I don't know how I can connect it. Rather than I'm sitting and thinking how I connect it, I just put on a paper and try to connect together what's happening. And believe me, in a minute you understand what's happening and what is the process and what you need to do. Then communications. So look, for the critical thinking, it's when you're analyzing the data, when you observing the data, and when you're sharing the information, all of this needs a communication. And communication is, for me, it's one of the main key for the critical thinking, because in the critical thinking we give a feedback to the thinkers as well, and we got a feedback as well. So you need to improve your communications skills. So if you want to improve, it's so many debating around. You can go to the different debates, and you can go, if you are in woman empowerment, go to the climate change debating or something. It is sort, you can communicate better, you can practice. In the critical thinking, one of the skills you need in the communication, as say, it's accepting negative feedback from others without fighting with them. When they say you are wrong, it doesn't matter how they say it, you need to be able to accept it. Not accept it as accepted, it means digest it, give it time to say, okay, you might be right. And then you start to talking about what they think it's right and what they think it's wrong, and you need to communicate. So that is the important skills for you, to sit back and digest without being defensive and response to everyone, so you can digest it and talk to them. In the communication, you need, as I say, you need to be active listeners, and you need to be respectful as well. It means if you say someone says something different or against your belief, which is their belief, you in the communication, you need to understand they might be right. It's their belief, or if their way of thinking. So that is another point. You need to learn it, and accept others people's view of point. You might see one issue, but people have a different point of view. So you need to be able to understand and accept them. So if you're going through the steps of the critical thinking, when you analyze the data, it's not bad idea to share your information with others, or getting information from others to make it last problem solving, or be able to solve the problem, because you need information from them. The last point is problem solving, which is contain all of this. We say it's time when you collect all the data, when you analyze all the data, and communicate and talk to other people to see what they think, what is their point of view. That is the time that you start thinking how you can develop the solutions, how we can solve that problem. And you need to develop the solution. You need to find the solution for the problems. So one of the main things I realize, I'm working with so many people. So some of people need to report to me, or they need to tell me some things. When I got an email, and they might the issue raised in the classroom. So when I got an email from my tutor, or the person we are working together, when they say what is the issue, I love, and I think it's more professional when they say, okay, Zara, this is the issue. We think these 2 points is the good solution for that. What do you think? They might think, when the issues raised in the classrooms, they might think, okay, Zara is responsible for the whole course. She needs to think about what is the solution, okay? And if they come with a problem, I'm the person needs to find a solution. It's correct, but it doesn't matter where you work. If you want to be professional, you need to be able to develop the solutions and say, okay, we think that is the solution, and don't worry about it, because all of the social things happens has lots of different solutions, so that you might not be wrong about the solutions you have. So to improve your problem solving skills, you need to have the knowledge about this problem. If you have in any industry, you need to have a good knowledge of the industry, and if you have a knowledge, you have a stronger understanding of the specific information, and specific problems comes. So one of the main thing is, if some issues comes up, not a daily or routine, if in your job some of the information, some of the problem comes up, it's not a bad idea to increase your knowledge about your industry specific knowledge, or your field. And in the personal life, I always say there are lots of workshop and lots of podcasts and everything which you can increase your knowledge in the daily life as well. Because if you don't develop your knowledge, you end up with the same solution. So you need to increase your knowledge if you want a different solution, or if you want to find a better solution. So make sure you update it in your personal life. If you don't have this type of workshop, helps you in a professional and daily life. And there is a lots of podcasts which you can listen to that develop your knowledge, and see what other people think, and give you information. Um, there is I work on this a bit. I'm trying to tell you what's the difference between levels. Or it's kind of difficult to distinguish some of the levels, but it was interesting Because most of when I talk to my friends, most of them thinking, okay, I'm a critical thinker. But when we think about where stage I am in this pyramid, it's interesting to say, oh, I'm still in the lower level, not higher level of the pyramid. So this one, it's not learning or nothing. It's only, I want to tell you, you understand where you are standing in that pyramid. If you know where do you stand and you be aware of your thinking stage, it's very easier for you to improve. I don't know if anyone gonna be master in critical thinking, but yeah, I try to explain. I put a notes, comprehensive note under this slide. Don't worry if my explanation didn't show the difference and say, oh, these two levels Zara explains completely same to me, but you can go and read it. I try to figure out, but see if I can explain. So the lower level is unreflective thinker. What is it? Means I say something, I'm right. I don't accept anyone say wrong or anything. When I say something, okay, as a decision maker or thinking or telling you about my belief and idea, I don't want to get a reflection. I don't want feedback because I'm right. I'm completely right about it. So this person needs lots of work, and I don't know this type of people can even put this step under critical thinking because they think they are right. They don't think, they are not aware of, okay, it could be something. The second one, challenge thinker, they realize their lack of critical thinking. They realize, okay, there is something's wrong with, there is lack of critical thinking, but they think they are improving without anything. They say, I'm improving, okay, without improving their skills. Beginning thinker, this is when you start to be critical thinker. They understand the blind spot of their critical thinking. They know what is the blind spot. They aware that they are not critical thinker. They aware that they need to do a step to address their thinking, critical thinking and decisions. So they are aware of blind spot, but they don't have any more information. They are only aware. Practicing thinker is they know exactly in the critical thinking process where is their weaknesses and where is that strengths. Okay, they try to improve, but there is no insight. It's not deep level. They try to improve their weakness, but it's not a deep level. So it's very shallow and in a surface. Advanced thinker reflect on their own thinking with insight and into varied and different areas of their life. They have an insight. They know their thinking, all of the thinking. They have more strengths in the critical thinking, and also they love to see another people's point of view, what the other people think. When you reach the master level of thinking, they are completely do the steps of critical thinking. They know they are critical thinker. They are active listener. They listen to all the different critical thing people's point of view. they accept that, and they try to get lots of insight for themselves. I hope I could say the difference between them. But the main thing is you need to realize from the unreflective. Hopefully, none of us are unreflective, because it's difficult to communicate with those people. But from the challenging thinker to the master thinker, it means all of them are a bit aware of the critical thinking. As they go up, they know what is their weakness, what is their strength, and they improve their weakness. As they go up the pyramid, they accept different people point of view more and have an insight, deeply do the critical thinking. So what I want from you, I don't want anyone tell me, it means think about it and see what type of thinker are you. If you know what type of thinker are you, it's honestly really easier for you to improve critical thinking and be really critical about yourself, not putting yourself in the really high level if you are not related to the high level. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Hopefully it was useful for you. I'm happy to answer your question if you have any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Zara. It was great. I really like the pyramid. I feel like I'm an advanced thinker. I like to think. I have no idea. I like to think I'm sort of an advanced thinker in some areas, and it's getting really dark here. And I wanted you to finish the pyramid so much. I'm like, I'm gonna turn on the light later. I'm gonna turn on the light later. So, anyways,
Yeah,
I ended up in
that's good. If you know, I'm sure you are an advanced thinker, because as people grows, as a personal growth and professional growth, mostly personality growth, and we know you are really advanced in the personal growth. So they are accepting other people's point of view, I think, more easily,
Yeah.
and they know their weaknesses. So yeah, I agree. But for myself, I had so much bias. I need to
I
think about
know.
it. I said,
It
okay,
is like when you are doing it yourself, it's difficult to.
yeah. I say, oh, I'm sure I'm not unreflective, and I'm a bit of about high, but I'm not sure I'm a practical or advanced, but I'm trying, and that's good. When I saw this pyramid, I was so happy, because I say, oh, that's good. I know which level I am.
How about you, Maya? Which level are you?
Thank you, ma'am. I think I'm on middle level. I cannot say I'm in top. I cannot say I'm in below, but I'm learning. I'm in the process of learning, so I think I'm on middle level because I'm
Oh,
learning every day throughout my work, throughout my friend circle, throughout lots of climate change conference and work. So that's why I'm learning and the process. Thank you.
Good. That's great. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Dr. Zara, for your time. I know, and thank you, Maya, for being here. This is recorded, so I hope people who are watching this, they're gonna email me their questions regarding critical thinking, and I'll forward all your questions to Dr. Zara. Have a
yes, yes, sure.
beautiful, yes, thank you. And I'm gonna send your email with the PowerPoint slides that you will send me plus the recording to everyone.
Sure, sure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.